All right, everybody. How are we doing on this fine evening? It is Thursday. Correction, it's actually Saturday. I'm very sorry about that, but it is indeed a wonderful evening. I'm glad to be here. I'm very, very, very excited to get this started because I actually have a lot of new things going on here. First of all, we have a new game that we're going to be playing today. I decided to do this because I want to see what you guys think about it, and I want to get it rolling. Just a moment, and I will be explaining it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and explain this via a new command, and this is known as play. You guys can use this however you like. And this will tell you the rules of it. So Nightbot is going to tell you exactly how this works. To play, you're going to send a message in chat containing only what rating class you think the level on screen is going to get. For example, if you were to think that a level was going to get a star rate or a feature or something like that, you would say in chat, star rate or feature or whatever you think. And then at the end of the level, I'm going to press a button here on my stream deck, and it's going to say what I think the level is going to get rated as. And then at the end of the stream, I'm going to go ahead and combine all the results into a podium. And the winners of this podium are going to get their level request for free. You're going to type it in the chat. And because I have a blocker on for level IDs, what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you guys have the ability to just send the name and the creator. I'll put them into a spreadsheet, and I'll play those 3 levels at the end of the night. Any questions? And I will answer them in chat because I know there's a little bit of stuff going on. But yeah. And just for reference, you don't have to say like ! play star rate or something like that. You can just say your guess, and that's all I need. So with that, we'll get that figured out tonight, and everybody will be learning, and I'll try to walk you guys through it. And then at the end of the night, we'll do our first free level requests. With that being said, let's get this party started. Okay, so the first level is Mind Eaters by SyncXR. Let's open up practice mode and let's see some comments. So I like the shader usage so far. That's really interesting. There's a lot of depth going on and all that stuff. Whoa. Robot game modes, I don't like the function of practice mode because you have to place a point before you start playing. This is a nice part. I really like what's going on here with the colors. There's a lot of good stuff with that. Big fan of that. The designs also have some good depth with a nice background going on. So that's very cool. I also see that the Nightbot command isn't quite working just right. We have a few errors with the message getting cut off. So I'll hash that out after this stream. So if somebody joins and they're not sure what's going on, just help them out, please. Anybody in chat at the moment. I like the particles going on here. That's very cool. You've done a good job making some good, interesting things for the player to look at. A little lens circle as well. And this has like 3 parts to it, right? There's a sun in the background. There's some waves, all that stuff. That's very cool. I like this game already. Yeah, it should be fun. And there it is. So I didn't say a ton intentionally because I want to see what you guys think, but that's going to be all that I'll give, and I'm going to make my vote. And the answer to that was I would personally believe that this is a star rate. Let me make a few comments on why. I feel like for me, there was a lot of energy and there's atmosphere. The colors worked, all that stuff, but the designs felt just a little bit flat. They were a tiny bit under for me. So I am going to land that at a star rate. It's very close to a feature, and I think that if the designs were a little bit deeper, there's maybe a middle ground, stuff like that, that could be a very good thing for it. Awesome. Let's do another one. Next up, we got Radiation Area by Daxor. Let's get it started. I didn't type fast enough. Yeah, so the window's going to end right here at the time that the level finishes. So you got to make your guesses quick. Awesome. So we have a dark theme here so far. A little bit of green going on with some pulsing. I can't hear a ton of the song, and I'm not sure if that's just an offset choice or what, but a little bit tricky there. All right, so once again, the pulsing continues. We have some nice deep designs overall. I think for me, the background feels just a little bit empty, along with there not being a lot of like moving parts other than the blocks themselves. And one layer of motion is good, and it's a good idea. However, if you add multiple, you can start getting into these concepts where there's depth and you have parallax and all that stuff, and that can be where levels really take off. All right, we got some wave going on with a little bit of indicators. Very nice overall. I can see that. Big coin with Daxor at the end. All right, I'll let you guys get your guesses for just a moment. And unfortunately, this one was very close, but I am going to say that it was not sent. Once again, a very close margin, but unfortunately, it was a little bit empty, and there was only one layer. So I will have to unfortunately say that that one was not sent. I think to get it to a rate-worthy standard, what would be a really good idea would be to have something going on in the background. A standard background is a good idea, and it does leave a little bit of depth going on, but having something else is a much better thing. So not bad overall, and I think there's a very, very good chance with a little bit of improvement it could get a rating for sure. Do you need to send ID in chat, or is there a form? So you can't send an IG in chat because I have it set up so that people don't just request in chat, and I can't get to everybody's request. You have to fill out a form, and that'll all work. Next up, we got Citadel Quest by QZ Lind. This one already has one send. Very interesting. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. Looks like it's opened me up into practice mode. Huh. Oh, practice mode. What the heck? All right, we got a good checkpoint going on there. Ooh, I like that idea. I didn't even realize that you could follow that path. I didn't realize that you could go on the water. Same for here. I like the fact that you can kind of catch yourself. Although I'm not sure that it works because you can fall through. A little bit of sound effects going on as well. Sound effects, like, for a normal level, they're important. Whether that's like cuts, jump effects, all that stuff. But in platformer levels, they go 10x or 10 times more important. You have to have sound effects in some sense. Let's see. How do I just have to... It's a little bit of a guess, I suppose. There we are. And then you have to get through beneath that. We got to zoom in. This is a very classic platform, and I really like the fact that like cutscenes have become a big thing in plats. Because they make something different. They make something unique compared to just a standard classic level. Because you have transitions in classic levels, but you don't have those developed cutscenes like platformer shows. So I feel like for me, it's a world level, right? You explore a world and all that stuff, but it is well developed. This part, it's a little bit blind. Like if I didn't know where I was going, I'd be really confused, and I still kind of am a bit confused because it kind of just kills you on sight. I'm not sure here. There we are. Okay, so I'm through now. This better be passable. That's really important. Thank you. Basically, I was making sure that the creator had made it where you can kind of jump on it, but you don't hit your head if you interact with it. So this one's going to be one where I have to use multiple keys, it looks like. There it is. I got it. And interestingly enough, a lot of the rate standards for platformer are by length. Like a star rate worthy platformer level might be feature worthy if it goes for longer, which is very interesting. Not all of them, for sure. Okay, wait. Is it just... Do I just fall to my death, or what? No, I don't. Okay, I might be stupid. What do I do? I think I am stupid. Boom. Do I have to... Ooh, that's kind of a tight timing for what this level is. Or not. I like, just in general, the atmosphere of it. It feels very, like, lively and all that stuff, which is very nice. Oh, practice complete. I do wish, for me, at least, that there was a little bit more of an end screen. It felt just a little bit sudden. Not sure, though. Slope gameplay. It's very nice. It was fun. It's very blind, so camera could use some work. I think you all have made good points. And I think for that reason, I would agree with you, and I think it is a star rate. So I think a lot of people actually got that one. So congratulations to them. We actually have a tie for the podium at the minute, so the longer you stay, the more likely you are that you're going to win, which is nice. This one is going to be called Cuckoo Bird, and unfortunately I am going to have to skip it because it is over 2 minutes long, and that is one of the rules of the forum. If you guys have any doubt, you can always use !rules, and that will pull up the rules that you have to abide by. Not sure why Nightbot's commands are getting cut off. Huh. All right, next up we got Terra by Tito's My YT. Let's take a look at what we got. A little bit of pulsing. It feels very much like a world level to me, as is. Let's see if that continues. Good use of indicators. I like that aspect. I'll take a look at the description in just a little bit, because world levels have this very similar vibe. And those mega projects where multiple people work on them usually have an atmosphere they're trying to fit. And that goes into whether or not your level gets rated, right? I feel like the movements in that UFO and ship part could have been a little bit better, but I like the concepts right here. I really enjoy the fact that they did some green glow that makes everything feel nice and cohesive. Nice, nice. Ooh, good use of yellow portal and red orb. Couldn't think of the word there. Nice. That part right there, I think it could have been, I think the block could have been one over. Well, you guys have one moment to make your decisions. Will you save the planet or make it worse? Oh man, this one's really close for me, because in some ways I really do enjoy the atmosphere of it. I think that it really mimicked the world style very well. But it did feel very simplistic, and I feel like it could have been extended a lot further in a lot of ways, and there could have been some depth, and all that stuff has to go together in order to make a rate-worthy level. So, my opinion, it's very close, but I will have to say it is no rate. How long will this take? I'm going to be streaming until 10 p.m. Eastern, and then at that point, whoever's winning in the challenge where you guess the rate, they will get the opportunity to send their levels, and I'll review those 3 with no pressure and no guesswork. Next up, we got Never Let Go by Falling Pipe. This one was submitted by Activate GD, and I think I already reviewed this one because I have it done in practice mode, so I will have to skip that one as well in the interest of time. All right, we got Party Parade by Tariq16YT. Feeling very similar to the Nightmare as is. Let's take a look at if that continues. Good use of the green orb. That keeps the gameplay very interesting. Kind of reminds me of X-Step with those blue orbs. Make sure that we're closing off the, Wait, how do I get past this? Oh, it's like a 9-circle style thing. Go underneath it. Oh, okay. So maybe replace that with spikes because it's a little bit tricky, and in some older levels, that's a lead to, like, this is the route of success. I'm not sure. Good change at the time. I think that was taken from Dry Out, that inspiration, but that's a good idea. It's probably going to be a... Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be a late input. But this one I might have to... Yeah, I was going to say I have to extend it a bit. Okay, we're into a ship. Not sure how I feel about doing straight saws. Straight saws feels a little bit like... You just kind of laid out a route and didn't really fill over it. So if you were to use blocks, that makes it feel a lot more finished and complete and polished, especially when you follow it up with a straight block pattern, much like this. All right, and we're into swing. Again, a nice scene change. I would like a bit more variation in the structuring. It feels very one-dimensional in that sense. And then again, I feel like the blue orb spam is just a little bit copy-pasty. Then again, that might be a personal preference. There we go. And that's a fake out, it looks like. Make sure to indicate where you're supposed to go when there's a blind jump. That's very important for the success of the player. And it shouldn't really feel like I don't know what's going to happen. It should always feel like I do know what's going to happen. My skill just doesn't allow me to, do it. Like if it's timing, you should know where you're supposed to collect, but you just can't exactly time it or something like that. And then once again, the structuring does feel very similar. So going back and maybe adding some pillars, adding some, multi-block structures, stuff like that, that can add a lot of depth to your level. All right. I'll let you guys get your guesses in for just a moment. All right. And then for this one, I will unfortunately have to say that it would probably not be sent, because it did feel just a little bit incomplete in the sense that the designs were very simplistic. There wasn't a lot going on in the background, and it felt a lot like a 1.0 level that you'd see. Next up, we got 50/50 Deco 2. Let me double check that this is going to be over the distance that we need to. 49 seconds. Perfect. Let's take a look. All right, so it kills you on sight. That's fine. That happens once in a while. Got some good inverted colors. I think that if you're going to label something as deco, though, it's important to make a little bit, more... Oh, never mind. Okay, there we go. Okay, it says auto. My fault. My fault, my fault, my fault. Wait, is it auto? Is it auto or am I tweaking? I might be tweaking. What? What am I supposed to do? I'm just falling through. Oh. Okay, I see. Hang on. Oh, and I'm through. I've fallen a great height. I like the little, effects going on with the portals. They, show up. I know that for me, I experimented with effects, a lot in the beginning, and then I just kind of never used them again, but they are lethal. They are so powerful. Good use of the random indicator as well. So, for example, I was a cube there for just a second. That doesn't impact how you play the level, which is a good thing. I think I skipped just a little bit of it. Yeah. And then we're through. I'd be super interested to see how this looks once the block designs are fully done. Good use. I like the coins as saws. That's fun. Adds a little bit of depth to the design. And I actually was able to tell that the coins were unable to be hit. The casino in the background. Of course. Gotta love it. And we're through. I like that. Ooh, this part's nice. Okay. Okay, I see. Casino cat. Hold on. Hold up. What's... So 50-50 is actually an interesting like concept because it's an allusion to obviously gambling. I'm not gonna like condone that on stream or something, but it's an interesting idea. And then we're into the exit. Oh, and we're outside. We escaped. Hold on. Gotta hold down, I guess. This part's real fast for the difficulty of the level. Not sure there. Okay, this part's cool. I like the fact that you gather coins. Ooh, so this part's all spiked. You have to just straight fly through it, I guess. Not sure on the difficulty, actually. But pretty cool overall, I'd say, honestly. A lot of really interesting things. Obviously, I think just because it's not done, I will have to say no rate just because the beginning is incomplete. But I think that if you actually were to go ahead and complete the level, make it all finished and that kind of stuff, it could go for a high feature or even an epic. So 100% continue working on this. It has a ton of potential. Not on my watch. 10 seconds long, unfortunately, so that means I will have to skip it. Next up, we got Astronomy by Jawo687. Looks like he did 11 previews to it, so that's a lot. 20 hours in editor as well. Whoa. Okay, hold on. It's a very interesting concept, I feel like, right now, because the entire level's theming and all that stuff, just the scheme in general, feels super finished and polished, but the designs do feel a little bit one-dimensional. Art is such a challenging thing to ace and get perfect, and that's because it has to look like the thing, right? There's no leeway, because like with modern, you know, you just have to say, it looks like it has the right colors and stuff like that, and with glow, you have to say, okay, you know, the glow is correct and all that stuff. And by the way, I say this as somebody who does modern. I'm not just hating on a random style. But art, it has to look like the thing, right? Challenging, 100%. So that means that you do obviously have some more grace for what an art level would be. The gameplay is a little bit touchy here. It's a little bit touch and go. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see this transition. A little bit sharp of a cutoff. That's being kind of nitpicky, though, I will say. Okay. Once again, maybe moving the camera a little bit more naturally would be a great next step. Because that can really be the difference between when a level feels really professional and when it doesn't. There we go. Oh, okay. Oh, I just closed out of it. Hang on. I'm going to pop open the editor to make a start point at 67%. I want to just leave it to dust. Hold on, where was I? My apologies, guys. It's my fault. That was stupid. I'm just going to open it up one more time. My mistake. I accidentally opened it up. Yes, guys, I did indeed say 67% because that's what I was going to do. I know it's incredible. I'm getting a little bit of a better hang of the sync this time as well. That's nice. I think I undersold how good the sync is. The slopes, I'm not a huge fan of them because they contrast a little bit oddly with the smoothness that's angled for in this level. Not a bad thing. I'm just not dying for them. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm just having a lot of trouble, I guess. Okay, so I did skip through there. So make sure your portals are walls. And there's no way to just like skip right through them because I didn't really even try to. I just kind of bypassed it accidentally. And the indicators could go to be a little bit more vibrant on a very contrasting already design style. Having just a bit of trouble reading them. Oh. Oh yeah, and then you're just supposed to let yourself fall. Got it. And there we go, we're through. Boom, boom. The transition work here is actually quite nice. Okay, so we're through. Not exactly sure what a Mario box is doing here. Feels like just a bit out of style. That is kind of picky though, but with art, you really have to keep the same style because that's what's carrying it. It's all about the stylistic choices. Oh. Gameplay feels a little bit too open to me because with these levels, you have to have like a spike right at the end or something so they don't just fall through because I'm having to reset a lot of times and it feels a bit unfair. Slightly loud sound effects. I think that's fine though because of the nature of the level warning me. And there it is, total attempts 0.00, total objects 17,000 is not bad for what it is. So with that, all right, I've made my decision and my decision is a star rate. I think that it could get a star rate. Only reason why is because the cutoff between an art level being a star rate and a mythic comes down to how polished it looks. The assets look good overall, but they don't really go together quite well. There's not glow going on. There's not stuff like that going on. And they do feel very much like if I took them out and I printed them on paper and I kind of pasted them on with each other, which just shows that there could be a little bit more blending going on. All right, we got Chromophobic 3. I feel like I already played this one again. I did. Just a little bit ago. So I will have to skip that one too. Work in Progress by Lego Lime. Let's take a look. See what we think. So I like the zoom idea. Okay, so these are slopes. Ooh. No, this is fun. I love the background you have going on here. This is awesome. Some good saws. Maybe make those rotate a little bit. Not sure. You could use some build helper for that as well. That doesn't have to be all done by yourself. Okay, zoom in. Nice transition. This looks super cool over. I like the lyrics as well. Very fond of how this is looking so far. Some art as well. One of my favorite things overall is when people actually like integrate the lyrics into the part of the level. Unfortunately, some parts look like they are unfinished. It said work in progress, but yeah, obviously I will have to take that into account. Nice transition, once again. I'm a big fan of how these transitions were working out. Maybe make an effect on there so that the person can know if they hit the correct pink orb or not. And we're through. Good camera movements as well. They don't feel very jolty at all, which is nice. So just to kind of explain what I'm thinking here, I want to take a quick look at what the comments are saying as well. This is featured, feature if it was finished. That is exactly it. Feature if it was finished. If it got finished, it's going for a feature, 100%. I absolutely believe that this would be a featured level. Depending on the effects used, it could be epic because it feels like very emotional. And one of the most powerful things you can do as a creator is convey emotion in your levels. At the moment, just as a heads up for everybody, the race is currently tied for top. We have 1 point to Raccoon 6336, 1 point to the Real Daxor, 1 point to the Axo King Gaming. And it'll be very close. All right, next up we got 4-Door Layout by Sword Gamer 969. Okay. Oh. So this is one, since it is a pretty challenging level overall, I probably will have to just play part of it through and just give my feedback as is. Not sure how I fluked that one input, but... Nice. Straight fly going on. Good. Let's hold. Oh, so that's one where you'd want to use, once the level's obviously finished, you'll do some polishing, I'm sure, but you'd want to make sure that the player knows, okay, I'm going to stick to the ceiling here. Because, like, for me, I wouldn't know that on site. That's a little bit challenging. I'm not sure that part was actually pretty easy in contrast to the rest of the level. Maybe worth either buffing that or nerfing a little bit more of the stuff around it. Okay, so this is a big old spam section. I'm surprised I'm on the list. That's because everybody has exactly 1 point at the moment. All right, so I am going to stop right here just because it's been quite a while and I'm only like 20% of the way through. I think so far it's good. It's obviously a very challenging level. 2029 attempts. I think that explains it pretty well. It's obviously a tricky play, and I think that's intentional, so I'm not going to gripe a ton about the gameplay. There's a bit of balancing issues. I mentioned one part was pretty easy. The robot part where you stick to the ceiling. Buffed that a little bit, but I think it's a good start, and I think that with some decoration, as it says in the description, that it could get decorated. I think that's a good start. Yeah. Few questions here. What's your best level you made, or which one are you the most proud of? Actually, believe it or not, I have two of them. Number one, which is probably my favorite one, would be A Different Sad. That's my newest one. I feel like it conveys a lot of emotion pretty well. And yeah, that one would be my favorite. Second one is No Love Left. I feel like I did a really good job, and it set some foundations for my current style. So that's why I like that one a lot. Do you take level requests? Yes, I do. They're in the forum. If you use the link up top, you can submit. I appreciate you actually give a lot of constructive criticism. Really refreshing to see. Thank you. I always do my best. And of course, if you know some of my stuff, if you think I say it wrong or something like that, definitely make sure to let me know. I'm always trying to improve on that. Does this guy play platformer levels? Yes, I do. Just submit them via the forum, and I might be able to take a look at them. This one says XL in length, so I'll have to double check the time on it. 2 minutes and 8 seconds, so unfortunately we'll have to skip. Make sure you're following the forum, and it is under 2 minutes and over 30 seconds long. I had a bit of an error here with Nightbot, and I thought that I had it set up so that would tell me tell you all the rules, but unfortunately it does not. So I'll do some fixing on that overnight, and next stream that'll be all better. Next up, we got Dreamer by Keliver13. All right, so I think first of all, you have some good designs going on. The contrast of the colors is not quite right for me. The background blends very sharply into the block designs, and they're very static. They feel kind of one-dimensional. Let's just follow the pattern to see if it is. Good use of the toggle orb. That keeps the player engaged and interested. This is a bit of a tight input for the contextual difficulty of the level. By that, I mean the rest of the level doesn't feel as challenging as that would lead you on to believe. Those do feel like spikes as well. I know I'm just kind of going like all out and just complaining about a bunch of things, but they're all very small tweaks that can be done in a day's time. I like the moving background though. That adds a little bit of life to it. However, that moving background is doing a lot of work in terms of making the level not feel static. So giving it a friend, giving it something else that's moving is a really good idea. I know I didn't add a lot of movement in my levels for a while, and then when I did, it felt like I had a whole new world opened. So definitely worth giving it a look at. Okay, mini wave. And then we slow down. Good use of slowing down for the song. Makes sense. I mean, it sounds like a very simple thing to do, but the amount of people that don't slow their level down to match the song is immense. So definitely worth keeping that. I like the idea of air decoration, but it does once again blend into those background designs quite a bit. Oh, so I couldn't see that right there, that you were supposed to jump off that platform. Thanks for playing, Dreamer. Fun. It was a fun playthrough overall. I really enjoyed it. If I had to pick one thing, and just one thing to improve about this level, it would be the contrast. The background blends very sharply in with the block designs, and that I feel like really takes it from a possible star rate really down to maybe not quite. So it's definitely worth a shot to improve the contrast. And then with that, you can kind of take a look at what else is going on, right? Okay, maybe I need to now think about adding some more movement and pulses and stuff like that. I like your animation thingy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, next up we got M by It's Kidzo. Oh, wow. I don't know how I did that first try. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay. This is a little bit of a odd part to play through. Not sure. The spikes don't add a ton of difficulty, and they make it very confusing for the player in general. So maybe just removing those entirely might not be a horrible idea. I know it kind of opposes the approach of the level, but it might be worth a look. And right here, I had no idea where I was supposed to go, you know. It's just kind of killing me without any context. Feels very unreadable to me, which is a big no-no in the creating world. You need to make sure that your levels are easy to understand. I get the approach of every end. I think in general that's where this level was taken ideas from, but I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Actually, a lot of trouble. What do I do? I mean, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm just having like, since it's such a blind jump and I have to wait like 3 seconds to get the verdict on if my jump was good enough, not super fun. Because there can be some parts of difficulty that are grabbed from, you know, timings and stuff like that, but you don't want to make it the whole paradigm of your level. Otherwise, it just gets kind of sloppy in general, which is what I'm feeling from this. Because that part alone took me like 15 attempts, and I have no idea what I was doing wrong. Which, you know, maybe for a difficult level, that's something, but as a player who doesn't play a bunch of difficult levels, that just feels very frustrating to me. Okay, so I'm just supposed to follow the path, it looks like. Maybe adding some slopes there to give a little bit of better direction could be a good next step. Because the hitboxes aren't exactly accurate. Okay. Blind jump. So for sure, notify the player if they're supposed to jump on that initial start there or not. Break time. Ooh. Oh, so you just hold. Slowing down a lot here. This is unbalanced, kind of. Yeah, in some ways. Oh. And now I just hold. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that like almost half this level is just holding it. Like holding levels or holding parts down. Idea from every end. There you go. Inspiration taken from that. Not a bad idea. There we go. By It's Kids. So unfortunately, because the gameplay is a little bit unbalanced and there is a pretty significant lack of decoration, I would have to say that it probably couldn't be sent. Good ideas, though, and I think that it could have a good place, especially with some decoration and balancing. Okay, wave challenge. This is only 21 seconds long, but I think it should land itself as a medium. Yeah, 53 seconds. All right, we'll play it through. Whoa. Okay. Spam. Ooh, maybe there should be a D block or something to indicate that there isn't one, because I thought that I could just float up there. Cool effect. Yeah, 100%. I like that. There we go. Very fun overall. I'd say good workout for me. But yeah, not bad overall. Would have been 34 attempts if I went through and practice. Obviously, I don't think that it would be rate worthy, just because of its nature, but not too bad. The stream is laggy for me. If it's laggy for anybody else, I'll do some patching. Otherwise, it might just be a viewer side internet thing, not positive. Next, we've got a random layout deco. Okay. Not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do here. Any pointers? Oh, wait. I see. You're supposed to jump when you see it. Barely. Okay, so those are pretty warped, I guess. If you want any more messages, by. So unfortunately, it wasn't very finished, I feel like. Just because I was handed something that was very close to the end. So that would be another not sent. Next up, we got Tetri by Beefaroni12345. Let's take a look. Ooh, so I thought that those were saws, actually, believe it or not. So some distinguishing between what's just plain glow and what's orbs, all that stuff could be good. Feels like the colors don't match quite well enough either. Having a little bit more blending could be good. Okay. This part's kind of odd because it punishes you like 5 inputs after if you were wrong. I'm not usually super fond of levels that do that because it feels like, why did I just die? You know what I mean? Like, you know why, but it's just a little bit odd. It's internet because I'm not laggy. Good. Hopefully that sorts it out. And unfortunately, I cannot help with your internet. Ooh, duel. This would be a great place for an asymmetric duel. I am a sucker for asymmetric duels. I love them so much. They bring a ton of life into levels in general. Okay, we got a nice Tetris song going on in the background. Feels just a little bit empty to me, and the contrast doesn't quite work, in my opinion. And then this part's just kind of underdecorated. Could be a good use for a new background and all that stuff. Just a tad one-dimensional. Oh. What am I supposed to do here? Any ideas? This looks like this just kills you. Oh, wait, what? Okay, I guess. Definitely make sure the player knows that that's happening, because I would have just quit the level. Can I do a level request, please? Yeah, you can submit via the form. This part's very tricky, and it feels just a little bit, like, off. Like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing wrong here. Once again, one of those instances where you do know what you're doing wrong, but it feels unfair. Because the orb should be spaced differently. Okay, let me open up the editor. I don't think that is going to be sent, just because it is a little bit empty, and the contrast don't quite work. I don't know if that website's okay. It should be to a Google form, but if that doesn't work, unfortunately, I would have to... Unfortunately, requests can't be taken by that. Do we send level requests IDs here, or the website? The website links you to a Google form once again, so that would be what you'd want to use. What request mod are you using for GD? It is something called like Google Form requests. You have to link it to a Google form. All right, next up we got Hellish Angies, or maybe that's Angles, or Angels. I'm not sure. Let's take a look though. This looks interesting. Okay, hang on. Good effects overall. Plays through solidly. I like that little animation there. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's fast. I don't mind it though. Feels right for the song. Why can't I submit another request? Because it's only one request per person. Otherwise, I'd get a ton of submissions, and that would be rough. Once again, guys, make sure you're guessing, because this one definitely could reach a star rate as is. Quick tip. And since we're nearing the end of time, whoever gets it right. Asymmetric duel. I was just talking about this. Let's go. Love it. Love it. Nice. No, I dig this one a lot so far. Really enjoying it. Even though it's a little bit laggy on my device, I'm liking it. I'm liking the direction that it's taken. Okay, so what... I have to like... Ooh, that's a bit tricky. Maybe making an S block there or something that makes it a little bit easier for the player to do. I wonder if there's a YouTube showcase for it. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, that was just an issue with me. That's a me problem. My fault. You need to collect the power. I like the toggle setup here. Let me just grab the power. Yeah. Oh. You have to grab the power to switch. But I'm having a lot of trouble grabbing the power when my device is lagging. And I think that's unfortunately due to the, like, just complexity of the level. I don't think I can really hate on the fact that it's lagging at all. Okay, and we're through. Boom. Whoa. And then we're into this part. This part I like already. The decoration feels messy, but in the right way. You can have messy decoration. It just has to be done correctly. Which, okay. That feels unfair to say to you guys because I feel like, you know, I should explain it. But your decoration has to be, like, a little bit scrappy if it's going to be messy. This is sick, though. I really dig it. Boom. Oh, good use of indicators. I'm gonna have to double check what it's intended to be, because I don't feel like the gameplay is unbalanced. It's just kind of difficult, so I'm struggling to, like, get a full grasp on, like, the challenge difficulty of the gameplay. So I'll have to do a quick fact check of that one. There we go. Heart. Okay. Please almost be done. It's not because it's bad, it's just really intense. And I want to be able to fully play it through and not have to, like, just stop it partway through. Good. I like the idea of, like, the collecting of the hearts goes through the entire level. It is persistent, which is good in this context. Sorry, I know I'm losing a lot of frames on this. That's my fault. It's just kind of what's happening. I don't even know how my duels are still synced, but they are. Good slowdown at the end, too. Okay, so this is one that I want you guys to guess on. I'm going to make no comment, no statement, just show you the difficulty, and you guys can make your guesses. And remember, this is star rate feature, epic, legendary, mythic, or not sent. And this one I did decide to vote for a feature. It has a lot of complexity, it has a background, it has movement, it has pulses, it has all that stuff. Only reason it didn't go for an epic is because it was a little bit scrappy and it was a little bit underdone. But it did have a feature. Bloodbath Timu. Half version of it, I suppose. Not sure why it's Bloodbath if it's a cube, but okay, let's take a look. You're supposed to hold and then boom. And then we hold. Yep. So a lot of this is actually auto. Interestingly. And then this part seems to have a very similar vibe to the original Bloodbath. Maybe a little bit unbalanced. Some parts are super easy for me. Bloodbath Timu. There it is. All right, then. I don't think it could go for a rate just because it does land itself as pretty simple. Next up is Backroom Travel. This one is XL, so I will have to skip it as well. Right, we got Unija by Levelo. Okay. Ooh. Oh. This one I'm fond of so far. let's take a look at what we got and hopefully try to assign a rating class to it. Maybe a little bit of a lack of contrast, but these designs are lovely. Big fan. So make sure you guys are guessing what you think this is going to be in the chat, because this could be a good one to bank some points on and maybe take a win for tonight. I like the bubble popping. This is really just like well done in general. Super fond of it. With a bit of a tight timing. Oh, wait. I'm wrong. My fault. My bad. It is very clean. And once again, a quick reminder to everybody, you will have to, when you're submitting your guess for the game, you'll have to only say the word. You can't have a bunch of explanation with it. Otherwise, the program doesn't understand that. Okay, this is cool. Good teleport. That was actually not that bad. This is my first stream of yours. Is there a leaderboard? Actually, believe it or not, there is. I just configured this today. This is everybody's first time doing this. So, you know, if you win or you get on the podium, you actually are the first people to do that. Oh, it's a fake, maybe? Or wait. Oh, okay. Good use of slopes. This part definitely makes it more interesting and unique, which is a huge factor in what rating class a level gets. Very chill overall. I'm a big fan of it. Okay, and we're up. Let's see what it is. This the end screen? It is. Ooh, it's like a movie theater. All right, you guys can guess. Give you just a moment. Let's say 10 seconds. I'll give you guys 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is leaderboard just for funsies? No. You get a free request at the end of the stream if you get it right, or if you get the most. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this one landed itself as a feature. Well, the designs are just a little bit. The designs are what carried it. The backgrounds were a little bit empty. There wasn't a ton going on there, but I think it was good enough to give itself a feature, believe it or not. Okay, next up is going to be Night Break. We're going through. There's some good decoration overall. I like the stars in the background, although they could use a little bit of movement or something like that. My fault in not reading the indicators. That's totally on me. Maybe the movements could be a little bit earlier, because I'm just having a little bit of trouble reading exactly where they're going to be, and it's a bit repetitive. This part as well could have a little bit more variation going on, but not too bad. And we're done. All right. I don't think this one could land itself as a star rate. It was just a little bit underdone. Having a little bit more in the block designs, a little bit more indication, stuff like that. Just having it, you know, a little bit more going on could be the cutoff and make it a little bit rate worthy. So with that, I am going to end the segment where I check the general requests for these guys. But that does mean that I will be announcing the podium. And very interestingly, it's a 5-way tie. There is a tie break though. And as of now, the top 3 people, these people can get their requests immediately. If you want to submit them via the chat, you'll just do one level name by the creator, and I'll do that one. Make sure it's public though. And those people are Raccoon6336, The Real Daxor, Azo King Gaming. If any of you guys are on here, you guys can submit your level. Just do the name and the creator. Don't do the ID, otherwise your request will be deleted by Nightbot automatically. Otherwise, the fallback people, and you guys can submit as well, are Eli Bry Games and Puppy Dasher 55. All those people are in, and the first 3 automatically get their requests fulfilled. If somebody doesn't submit one, they can. The fallbacks are number 4 and number 5. Okay, so it's been just a little while, and we do have one request from number 4, Eli Bry Games. Since nobody submitted yet, I am going to go ahead and give this guy the submission. Let's get it rolling. The Robert James by Dead Ideas 2. Since we only had one submission, I will actually carry this challenge out one more time. And yeah. All right, let's see it. Whoa! Some good colors already. I like the shake going on too. That's nice. It should be easy enough that I can play it through. Plus, since you won, I'm going to go ahead and just play it all the way through. I have time. I like the toggle orb right here so far. This is actually really cool, I think. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Hold on. Let's get that input. I should actually be talking a lot more because there's a lot of stuff to talk about that I actually like in this level. It's very full overall, and that is part of what makes the level good. I think that for me, the difficulty is a little bit underbalanced, right? But it's not like terrible. Plus, there's that little skip right there that I just demonstrated. Unless, yeah. There we go. So this should be a teleport orb. Hopefully I'm good enough to actually like click that. Oh. I know exactly what I need to do. This is an example of like my mind not quite functioning. Hold on. Ooh, this is a bit of a tight input for me. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. I figured it out. There we go. I got in. So I think, again, the level does feel very nice. Overall, I think the difficulty is a little bit back and forth. Like, sometimes I'll be like, ooh, this is actually a pretty easy level. And then other times I'll be like, this is not an easy level in the slightest. So maybe some balancing work could be good. Not, like, abhorrent, though. And not enough to warrant it to, like, drop. I have a showcase, and I'll just play it through. It's fine. I'm decent at wave. This will be fine. The glow here is not quite exact, which is a little bit frustrating to play. But, no, not like, again, not something that would like actually dock you seriously when I'm like reviewing a level. Just something to think about, keeping glow nice and consistent. Okay, spider. I like the game mode changes too. It's very nice. It's lovely. Hold on. There's just some points in this level that are a little bit, like, iffy, I'd say. But the glow, the effects, all that stuff, it's good, right? The gameplay could just use a little bit of balancing. And I think that's kind of the cusp between, is it rate-worthy, is it not? How's the gameplay? Gameplay should be a very non-negotiable, I feel like. Because there's a big debate, is gameplay better, or is gameplay more important than deco? They work hand in hand. They really do. There's no getting around it. There we go. If I spam hard enough, I can get through. Feels kind of like a challenge level in a lot of ways. Like, everything that is hard for me is in this level. Ironically. Asymmetric duel! We've had 2 tonight, guys. 2 asymmetric duels. Let's go. Not sure why skipping that red orb sets me up for success, but okay. Or maybe it's just like an error on how it was set up. Nah, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm just like one input away from beating this. Or at least getting the hang of it. I wish I could just like get right past this one part. The duel's a little bit underbalanced. Oh, there we go. As I was like, I need to get past this one part. There it is. It's gotten more difficult as the levels progress, which I'm not sure if that's the intention or if that's just like something that happened, you know. No clue there. Ironically, I got it. I'm just on the wrong side. Okay. Feels very hard. I feel bad for giving you one of my hardest levels. Well, it's your free request. You know, this is what you were here all night and you were chatting and you got the level right. So you get a free request. Congratulations. How do I do this? Come on. I'm going to open up the editor and just put a start position past this duel, since I'm just having a load of trouble with it. Right there, start pose. Turn off the disable. That's where we're going to be. Practice mode. Whoa. Okay, it's tight. Okay. Oh. Come on, set me up for success. There we go. Launch me to my victory. My non-start position victory. Completely legitimate, by the way. There we go. And I think we're through. So, obviously, I think in that level, right, I can't make a ton of, like, just comments about, like, how the gameplay plays through, just because every single second was a starting position. What I can say, though, is that the decoration was actually really cool. I think that if I gave it enough time, it wouldn't be too bad, and it could probably go for a star rate. So nice overall. I think that there were a lot of good effects. I think that it was a world-style level, but had some depth to it, some complexity, and that right there is why it could get itself a star rate, even though it's 34 seconds long. So, because nobody else submitted any rate-worthy levels, we only were able to have the opportunity to play one of the winners levels. And I am going to go ahead and read through chat just for a quick second, just so that I can answer a few questions before I go off for tonight. You missed a spider portal somehow? Okay, that would do it. I need to fix that, my bad. It's also getting a deco update because it's empty. Then it could 100% get a star rate, and if it was extended. Extending would make it like 10 times more likely to get a rating, but it was pretty close, I'd say. Did I ever skip a level called Spammed in Preview? I don't think so. I have like 38 submissions right now, so not everybody got the opportunity to play theirs. Same answer for people saying that they submitted and then the others played. Unfortunately, I can't get to everybody's because a lot of people want their levels played, and I can't stay online forever. But I got through a few tonight, so hopefully that's good. What place was I? I was Tetri by Beefaroni. So it doesn't go by place in the level requests. It instead goes by how many levels you got right in the guessing game. The level in the forms you want to play since nowhere is posted. Yeah, so I am going to be done for the night because I have played through what the winners have submitted. A bit short, but I would use all the drops. So I felt the level would be weird to continue. That's fair. Not all levels are really, meant to be exactly fitting the cookie cutter of the rate standards. So I respect you cutting it off. But I think that's good. Can you try one? So I am not going to take requests in the form. I'm not sure why it says I have private data. I shouldn't. I'm not positive there. Do I have a stream schedule? I definitely want to tune in next time. Yeah, so I plan to be streaming every Wednesday and Saturday night at 9 Eastern. Subject to change. I might do some one-off streams. Maybe something's going on, and I will have to skip a stream. But that is the plan for the schedule. With that, I have taken some requests, and we've gotten through the winner submissions. If you guys like the game, I'm definitely going to plan to continue to do it next time. So with that, I will sign off for the night. Hope you guys all have a great night, and thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching. See ya.